Hello, everyone, and welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
My name is Catherine, and today we're talking about a very, very important part of conversations in English.
That's right. Today we are introducing a new series all about small talk.
Okay, what is small talk, Marco?
Well, small talk is just everyday conversation about maybe the weather, about how you are, what's new in your life, etc. It's just plain conversation.
So something very simple and usually pretty quick. It's what you say to people when you bump into them or when you see them at a party. So let's take a listen to today's dialogue and find out just what kind of small talk we have. Hey, Michelle, this is my friend James. He's visiting Shanghai from New York.
Oh, hi, James. Nice to meet you. So, are you visiting for business or pleasure?
Well, actually a little of both. I'm meeting some business contacts, but I'm also taking some Mandarin classes too.
Oh, that's cool. How's it going?
Well, I'm finding the classes pretty tough, actually. But I'm having a great time in Shanghai. It's really an amazing city.
It sure is. Are you staying for long?
Only 2 weeks, unfortunately. I wish I could stay longer, but...
Well, listen, if you need someone to show you the sights, then just call me. I'm having a little get-together at my new apartment next week, so if you want to drop by then...
That sounds great. I'd love to. Let me take down your number, Michelle.
All right, we're back. So now let's take a look at a lot of great phrases that we've picked out for you this time on Fluency Builder.
Fluency Builder.
All right, so we've got 2 fluency builders today, so we're going to be exploring a lot of different phrases. We've got 3 now. The first one is very, very common. You hear this phrase, nice to meet you.
Right, so obviously if you meet someone new, you're introduced by your friend or something, you can just say, hi, nice to meet you.
All right, so nice to meet you too. That's what we say afterwards because it sounds very funny if you say it 2 times. So
right.
Hi, it's nice to meet you. Oh, it's nice to meet you too.
Right, exactly. So she went on, this girl Michelle, to ask if he is visiting Shanghai for business or pleasure.
All right, this is an important difference, something that we often talk about in small talk. You can travel for business. That means business trips. Or you can travel to see different sights and have fun. That's called pleasure. And so we often hear this phrase, business or pleasure.
Right. So if someone comes to your country, you say, so are you here for business or pleasure?
Oh, I'm here on business, or I'm here to see the sights.
Okay, very good. And so James is actually in Shanghai doing both things. He's on a business trip, but he's also taking Mandarin classes. And so Michelle went on to say, that's great. How's it going?
All right, you're going to hear this all the time in English. We say, how's it going to our friends and family. I wouldn't say it in a formal occasion with my boss or with my teacher, but it's very casual, very informal, and it's a way to ask how things are.
Right.
So you're taking classes. How's it going?
Exactly. So this basically means how are the classes going? How is everything?
Right. Or you could say, oh, Marco, I haven't seen you in a while. How is it going?
And that's another way of saying hi to someone or saying, how are you?
How are you? How have you been recently?
So there are 2 differences in that phrase there. In this case, Michelle is asking how the Mandarin classes are going. How is it? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it difficult? Is it easy? Etc. But if you say to someone, hi, I haven't seen you for such a long time. How's it going? That's more of a how are you type thing.
That's like, how's your life going?
Exactly.
So just think about what you're talking about. Are you talking about general situations like a person's life? Or are you talking about maybe lessons or class or job?
That's right. Okay, so we're going to take a break here. Let's listen to the dialogue again, and we'll be back in a little bit with more phrases.
Hey, Michelle, this is my friend James. He's visiting Shanghai from New York.
Oh, hi, James. Nice to meet you. So, are you visiting for business or pleasure?
Well, actually a little of both. I'm meeting some business contacts, but I'm also taking some Mandarin classes too.
Oh, that's cool. How's it going?
Well, I'm finding the classes pretty tough, actually. But I'm having a great time in Shanghai. It's really an amazing city.
It sure is. Are you staying for long?
Only 2 weeks, unfortunately. I wish I could stay longer, but...
Well, listen, if you need someone to show you the sights, then just call me. I'm having a little get-together at my new apartment next week, so if you want to drop by then...
That sounds great. I'd love to. Let me take down your number, Michelle.
All right, we're back. So now let's take a look at Fluency Builder Part 2.
So Michelle at the end of today's dialogue says, if you need someone to show you the sights, then just call me. All right, so to show someone the sights, we talked about this a little bit earlier with that word pleasure. What does it mean to show someone the sights, Marco?
So basically, the sights, we're talking about the different attractions of a city or place. So the museums, maybe different buildings or different attractions in general. What is there to sightsee?
Okay, so we are in Paris, Marco, and I say, hey, I'd love to show you the sights. What do you expect to see?
So maybe we would go to the Eiffel Tower. Maybe we would go to
Notre Dame Cathedral.
Exactly. So we would go see all these different sites, and to show, and that would mean that you are showing me the sites. You are taking me to see all these sites.
Okay.
Okay. And she is also having a little get together at her apartment, at her new apartment. So what is a little get together? This is a noun.
This is a get together. So think about this. Two different words actually. Get together, but it's a noun. It's a thing. It's like a party, but it's a small party.
Right. A little get together.
So I like to think of a get together as something very casual, something very small, sometimes intimate, where you just have 3 or 4 or 5 friends, and it's not as big as a party where everyone's dancing and.
Okay. So a little get-together is just a small group of people. You invite them over to your house. Very relaxed, very casual. It's not really a party. It's more of a reunion of friends.
And like we said, it's a noun. So you say, I'm having a get-together. You should come.
Okay. And she actually asks him to come, but she says it in a different way. She says, if you want to drop by.
Okay, this is something people often say in small talk because you don't want to say, you should come stay for a while because that's, I don't know, they just met.
It's not in order.
Yeah, so you should drop by means you should come and see and decide if you want to stay.
So basically, it's also kind of a relaxed way of saying you can come whenever you want.
That's
during our party or our get together.
So if the get together is 9 p.m. to midnight, you can drop by whenever, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. So to drop by is to come for a short period.
So if we're talking on the phone and I say, I'll drop by your house later on today, that means I'm going to go to your house very quickly at a unexpected time.
Yeah, or you could use it in a question, Marco, I really wanted to borrow that DVD. When can I drop by to pick it up?
Okay, very, very good. Now let's take a look at our last phrase. Michelle and James decided that they want to keep in touch, and so he said, let me take down your number.
Okay, so we're not talking about
taking it anywhere.
Taking a number anywhere and going somewhere. We're talking about writing something down. So in this case, your number is your phone number. Okay, let me take down your number means let me write down your telephone number.
Okay, so it's another way of saying let me write down your telephone number. Take down my phone number. Call me later.
That's right. So can I take down your number so I can call you later?
Okay.
That's another way of asking this question.
Very good. All right, so that concludes Fluency Builder. Let's listen to our dialogue one last time, and we'll be back in a bit.
Hey, Michelle. This is my friend James. He's visiting Shanghai from New York.
Oh, hi, James. Nice to meet you. So, are you visiting for business or pleasure?
Well, actually, a little of both. I'm meeting some business contacts, but I'm also taking some Mandarin classes, too.
Oh, that's cool. How's it going?
Well, I'm finding the classes pretty tough, actually. But I'm having a great time in Shanghai. It's really an amazing city.
It sure is. Are you staying for long?
Only 2 weeks, unfortunately. I wish I could stay longer, but...
Well, listen, if you need someone to show you the sights, then just call me. I'm having a little get-together at my new apartment next week, so if you want to drop by then...
That sounds great. I'd love to. Let me take down your number, Michelle.
Okay, so this is part 1 of our small talk series. We're going to have 10 episodes, and in each episode, we're going to be faced with a little different situation or circumstance where we will be forced to have a very quick chat with someone.
That's right. And so you're often going to find yourself in these situations if you're traveling to an English-speaking country or you're living or working in America, for example. And so it's really important because I think oftentimes you don't learn this in class. This is something that you have to really learn when you're in the country or learn with us here at English Pod.
That's right. It's a little bit of social skills for these awkward or maybe new situations.
Exactly.
All right, so if you guys have any other questions or doubts, you can find us at englishpod.com, and we'll see everyone there.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Hello, everyone, and welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
My name is Catherine, and today we have part 2 of our series about small talk in English.
That's right. So as we mentioned, small talk are very short, quick conversations about everyday things like the weather, and you usually have this with a colleague very quickly or a friend maybe.
Yeah, maybe not someone you know very well, too.
Exactly. So we're going to take a look at part 2. Why don't we listen to the dialogue and see what's going on?
So, Michelle, let me introduce you to Maria. She's my colleague from Brazil. Maria, this is Michelle.
Hi, Michelle. So what do you do here in Shanghai? I mean, what work do you do?
I work in advertising right now. How about you?
I'm actually in the wine business.
Oh, that sounds really great. I love wine myself. Is this your first time to Shanghai, Maria?
No, actually, I often visit. I usually come to China for business at least once a year. Also, I love the restaurants in Shanghai, so that's a good reason to come.
Me too. Actually, there's a great Brazilian restaurant I recommend. I mean, the food is delicious, but the service isn't so good. I often like to get together with friends and have a great barbecue there.
We should go there together sometime.
Wonderful idea. I'd love that.
All right, we're back. So now let's take a look at some of these very interesting phrases we find in this dialogue in Language Takeaway.
Language takeaway.
So the first phrase we have today is from the first sentence of this dialogue. James says, "So Michelle, let me introduce you to Maria."
That's right. So we have the phrase introduce someone to or introduce you to.
Okay, let me introduce you to this person. So Marco, let me introduce you to my friend.
Right. And this is something that you say when you want to tell the person, look, you're going to meet someone new. Let me introduce you to my friend, Sally.
And this is very important because it's polite and it's a way for you to say, okay, you two don't know each other. Here, this is, this person's name. This is this person's name.
Right.
It's very important when you are introducing people or when you're in a situation with two people who don't know each other.
That's right. Exactly. So let me introduce you to someone. Now, another key question here, I think probably one of the key questions when you meet someone new, you're talking, small talk, short conversation. What do you do here? Or what do you do?
What do you do? So this might sound like a very strange question. What do you do? Do you watch TV? Do
Right.
you like to eat food? No, but this means what job do you do?
Right. What type of work do you do?
Okay, so Marco, what do you do?
I host an English podcast.
All right, me too.
So this is the question. Now, don't get confused and remember that this is the typical way of asking someone what is their job. If you say, what is your job or
What is your occupation?
what is your occupation? It's too formal and it's kind of awkward. I don't think anyone has ever asked me, what is your occupation?
No, I rarely say that. I almost always say, what do you do?
Or maybe, what type of work do you do?
Or, what business are you in?
Exactly.
So this is our next phrase, actually.
Right. If someone asks you, what business are you in or what industry are you in, you would say, like in this case, Maria, she is in the wine business.
Okay, I'm in the wine business. That means that my job has to do with selling or buying wine.
So if we replace the noun wine with something else, for example, clothing.
I'm in the clothing business, or I'm in the cheese business.
Exactly.
You can basically change it with anything.
With any product. I guess if you sell computers, I'm in the computer business. Or if you have anything to do with computers, you can say I'm in the computer business.
All right, so that's great. I'm in the business.
Exactly. All right. So now we know what the person does. We continue asking questions. We're interested. We want to keep the conversation going a little while longer. We say, oh, wow, that's really great. I love wine myself. Then we ask, is this your first time to Shanghai?
Okay, so is this your first time to Shanghai or in Shanghai? This means, is this your first time to visit Shanghai?
That's right. Now, the preposition here is always confusing for an ESL learner because sometimes do you say, is this your first time in Shanghai? Is this your first time on Shanghai? Now we're saying to Shanghai. So in this case, or in this type of question, both are correct. Is this your first time in Shanghai? Is this your first time to Shanghai?
All right. So I could also say, if we were in Chicago, hey, Marco, is this your first time in Chicago? But I have to ask if we are in that city. I can't say, okay, I'm in Chicago today, but Marco, is this your first time in New York? Because we're not in New York right now.
Exactly.
That could be confusing. So remember, when you ask this question, you're asking about where you are today, right now.
Exactly. Very good. So on that note, let's take a break. Let's listen to the dialogue again, and we'll be back with some more phrases.
So, Michelle, let me introduce you to Maria. She's my colleague from Brazil. Maria, this is Michelle.
Hi, Michelle. So what do you do here in Shanghai? I mean, what work do you do?
I work in advertising right now. How about you?
I'm actually in the wine business.
Oh, that sounds really great. I love wine myself. Is this your first time to Shanghai, Maria?
No, actually, I often visit. I usually come to China for business at least once a year. Also, I love the restaurants in Shanghai. So that's a good reason to come.
Me too. Actually, there's a great Brazilian restaurant I recommend. I mean, the food is delicious, but the service isn't so good. I often like to get together with friends and have a great barbecue there.
We should go there together sometime.
Wonderful idea. I'd love that.
All right, let's take a look at 3 more key phrases on Fluency Builder Part 2.
Fluency Builder.
So one phrase that we heard from this when things started to get a little bit more personal, Michelle said, I often like to get together with friends. So this phrase here is to get together with friends.
So to get together means to be united or go with friends somewhere.
That's right. So we could also use the phrase to hang out. This means you're not doing anything in particular. You're not cooking or swimming or, going shopping, but it just means you're together with your friends. You could be doing anything.
Right, exactly. So even if you want to ask your friend or colleague, hey, do you want to get together after work and have a couple of drinks?
All right, that means would you like to hang out or would you like to go somewhere for a drink? It's very informal and it's not romantic.
Right.
It's just with friends.
Exactly. So if you ask someone to get together sometime, it doesn't mean let's go out on a date. It just means, let's hang out.
Let's hang out. Let's be friends.
Okay. Now, so they were talking about a Brazilian restaurant and James said, hey, we should go there sometime.
Okay, or we should go there together sometime is even more personal. This is a really common phrase and one that you guys should remember as a phrase, okay? We should go there sometime. That means that I would like to make plans with you to go to this restaurant.
Right, exactly. Now, if you notice the word sometime is separated. You have some and then apart, the other word is time. So it's very different from sometimes. Don't confuse it. What we're saying here is when you have time, when I have time, we should go there.
It's almost like saying one time or in the future. Sometimes it's different. It's like, I brush my teeth sometimes. That means
exactly.
that not very often. No, that's not true. But I would like to go there sometime means, it's a little bit vague. I don't say when, but I would like to in the future.
Exactly. And Michelle agrees. She says, wow, it's a wonderful idea. I'd love that.
Okay, this is another great phrase. Remember this as a phrase. Would you like to go see a movie?
I'd love that.
I'd love that. So I'd love that. I'd love to. These are ways of saying, I like the idea. Let's do it.
Exactly. So it's usually in response to an invitation
or suggestion.
Or suggestion.
Yeah.
Very good. All right. So let's take a look at our dialogue again and review everything. And we'll be back in a bit.
So, Michelle, let me introduce you to Maria. She's my colleague from Brazil. Maria, this is Michelle.
Hi, Michelle. So, what do you do here in Shanghai? I mean, what work do you do?
I work in advertising right now. How about you?
I'm actually in the wine business.
Oh, that sounds really great. I love wine myself. Is this your first time to Shanghai, Maria?
No, actually, I often visit. I usually come to China for business at least once a year. Also, I love the restaurants in Shanghai, so that's a good reason to come.
Me too. Actually, there's a great Brazilian restaurant I recommend. I mean, the food is delicious, but the service isn't so good. I often like to get together with friends and have a great barbecue there.
We should go there together sometime.
Wonderful idea. I'd love that.
All right, so as we can see, it's very quick, small conversation, but very good phrases to talk to a stranger, to start up a small conversation.
I think these are great too, Marco, because if you're learning English and you want to practice your speaking skills, you're not going to have many people to talk about deep things with. So it's great to use with strangers or with people in your office.
That's right, and these are common, typical questions, and they're also appropriate to ask someone. So obviously, if you meet someone new, you're not going to ask them how much money they make because that's kind of inappropriate in Western culture.
That's right. So what we've taught you here are very polite, very common phrases. We hope that you'll go out and practice these. If you have questions or comments, don't hesitate to leave them for us. Our website is englishpod.com.
All right, we'll see you guys there.
Bye.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
My name is Catherine, and as you know, we've had a series going about small talk in English, so today's lesson is a part of that series.
That's right. Today we're going to listen to two girlfriends meeting, and they haven't seen each other for a long time, so we're just going to see how they quickly have a small conversation.
Hey, Michelle, is that you?
Wow, Grace, long time no see. Where have you been?
Oh, yeah. Well, you see, I got a promotion, so I moved to the new Pudong office last September.
You did? Congratulations.
Thanks a lot. So, how are things with you, Michelle?
Well, same old, you know. Nothing much has changed here.
Are you still seeing Chris?
No, actually, we split up last month.
Oh, dear. I'm sorry to hear that.
But I met a really cute guy last night at a networking party, so, well, let's just wait and see.
Good for you, Michelle.
All right, we're back. So now let's take a look at some of the language on Language Takeaway.
Language takeaway.
So the first word we have here today, Marco, is the word promotion. Grace says, well, you see, I got a promotion, so I moved to the new Pudong office.
That's right. So she got a promotion, and a promotion is work-related. That means that you got a better position.
That's right, but you didn't change companies. So in your company, you had a job, and you did well in that job, and so your boss gave you a better job in the company, and that's
Right.
a promotion.
That's right. Okay, so she got a promotion. That's when they were talking about work, and now they started talking about their personal life. And Grace asked if Michelle is still seeing Chris.
Okay, so the verb here is to see someone, to be seeing someone. We're not actually talking about eyes and looking. We're talking about dating.
That's right.
So if you're seeing Chris, it means you are dating Chris.
Okay, so that's an interesting way of describing a relationship. So you say, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm seeing someone.
I can't date you. I'm seeing someone else. Or you could ask someone, are you seeing anyone right now?
That means, are you dating anyone? Do you have a boyfriend, basically? Okay. And sadly, no, they are not together anymore. She says, actually, we split up last month.
All right, so this is another relationship term. To split up means to break up or to stop dating.
To stop seeing each other. So there are two ways of saying it, as you said, to split up or to break up.
That's right. So unfortunately, they split up, or unfortunately, they broke up. They are no longer seeing each other.
That's right. Okay. But She said she had some good news because she met a really cute guy at a networking party. What is networking?
All right, so networking is something that you do, especially in the business world. You go to events, parties, happy hours, and you meet people. You meet strangers, and you talk about work, and you try to meet as many people as you can.
Okay, so it's not really a social party to actually just go and meet random people. You're trying to meet people that will be interesting for your business or maybe to get some other ideas. It's for a business purpose.
That's right. So perhaps in your town, you own a small business, and your town has decided to have a Chamber of Commerce networking party so you can meet other small business owners.
Okay, very good. So that's what we have for language takeaway. Let's go back and listen to our dialogue for the second time.
Hey, Michelle, is that you?
Wow, Grace, long time no see. Where have you been?
Oh, yeah. Well, you see, I got a promotion, so I moved to the new Pudong office last September.
You did? Congratulations.
Thanks a lot. So, how are things with you, Michelle?
Well, same old, you know. Nothing much has changed here.
Are you still seeing Chris?
No, actually, we split up last month.
Oh, dear. I'm sorry to hear that.
But I met a really cute guy last night at a networking party, so, well, let's just wait and see.
Good for you, Michelle.
All right, so now let's talk about these small, quick, but very useful phrases for small talk on Fluency Builder.
Fluency Builder.
So this first phrase is a phrase that you'll hear a lot when people greet each other, but perhaps friends who haven't seen each other in a very long time. We use this phrase, long time, no see.
That's right. Now, you look at it and it may seem like it's incorrect, right? Because you're missing something.
That's right. Long time no see. Who no see? What? What long time?
That's right.
But this actually means I haven't seen you in a long time.
That's right. So the phrase is long time no see. Hey, Michelle, long time no see. How are you? That's the way that you use it. But just take it as a phrase. Don't try to analyze it too much.
So, hey, Marco, long time no see.
That's right. Okay. And, well, they're talking and she's like, well, how are you? And she says, well, you know, same old, same old.
All right, this is another one. It doesn't look right. It looks
Yeah.
wrong, but we do say this, and twice. Same old, same old.
Mm-hmm.
And this means nothing has changed. There's nothing really new in my life.
Right. The same old things in my life. Nothing really new or exciting. Same old.
Exactly. So I could say, hey, Marco, you know, how's the job going?
You know, same old, same old.
All right, so nothing has changed to his job. He has not gotten a promotion.
That's right. So now Michelle was, again, describing about the guy that she met at the networking party. And she said, well, let's just wait and see. It seems like an incomplete sentence because let's wait and see what?
All right, so let's wait and see what. That's the question, though. You know, what are we waiting to see? Well, she's basically saying we don't know how things will go, but we'll have to wait for the future to come before we can make a decision or figure out what's going on.
That's right.
So, for example, Marco, we're at the office, and I say, how is that report coming along? Is it were the numbers good?
And I can say, yeah, the numbers seemed all right, but we'll just wait and see.
Perhaps we don't have all the numbers yet, so we have to wait to get the rest of them.
That's right. So you're just basically saying, I don't know what will happen in the future. Let's just hope that it will be good, and let's see what happens.
Let's just wait and see.
Let's just wait and see. All right, so let's go back and listen to our dialogue one last time.
Hey, Michelle, is that you?
Wow, Grace, long time no see. Where have you been?
Oh, yeah. Well, you see, I got a promotion, so I moved to the new Pudong office last September.
You did? Congratulations.
Thanks a lot. So, how are things with you, Michelle?
Well, same old, you know. Nothing much has changed here.
Are you still seeing Chris?
No, actually, we split up last month.
Oh, dear. I'm sorry to hear that.
But I met a really cute guy last night at a networking party, so, well, let's just wait and see.
Good for you, Michelle.
Okay, so this was another part of our small talk series. As you see, very useful and quick little phrases so you can have a very brief conversation with maybe someone you haven't seen, or a little chit-chat at the office.
That's right. And these are things that if you remember them, you memorize them, you can use in almost any conversation. Also, I'm sorry to hear that, or good for you. These are really great phrases that are very, very flexible.
That's right. Actually, that's a really good one. I'm sorry to hear that. Maybe someone gives you a little bit of bad news, or something bad happened in their life. It's very polite and a nice way of saying, hey, I understand. I'm sorry to hear that.
That's right. So we hope that you've learned something new in today's lesson. If you have any questions about the phrases or words you've heard, please check out our website, englishpod.com, and leave us a question on the community section or in a note. We'll be happy to answer them.
All right, guys. We'll see you there.
Bye.
Bye. Hello, everyone, and welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
My name is Catherine, and today we have another episode in our series all about small talk.
That's right. Today we're going to take a look at a work setting where two colleagues maybe run into each other and they talk very briefly about something.
All right, so let's check out today's dialogue, and we'll be back in a moment.
Hi, Michelle. Do you need to use the photocopier?
Oh, hi, Jeremy. No, please, go ahead. So, how are you, Jeremy? I was talking to Linda about you only last week.
Oh, I'm fine, thanks. I'm super busy with work, actually. Did you hear about the Lawson contract?
No, tell me more.
Well, I was discussing the contract with Bill, and he said that they met the head of Lawson's last week.
And?
And hopefully they're going to confirm the deal on Wednesday. Fingers crossed.
That's great news, Jeremy. Congratulations. Anyway, I must get back, but give my regards to your wife, Monica.
I will, Michelle. Speak to you soon.
All right, we're back. So now let's take a look at some vocab on language takeaway.
Language takeaway.
So the first word for you guys today is photocopier. Now, this is something that's very common in offices.
That's right, a photocopier, also known as a copy machine or just copier.
Yeah, this is something that you use to print on paper or to copy paper. So if I have a document, but I want another copy of it, I put it on this machine and it will copy it and print it out.
That's right. So those are the ways that you know of this machine by this name, either photocopier, copy machine, or just copier.
All right, but after that, we have a very interesting adjective. This is something that we use very often in spoken English. The phrase here, Marco, was I'm super busy. But what does it mean to say you're super something?
That's right. So when we add the word super to an adjective, we mean that we're very, very, very busy. Super busy.
All right, so I'm super hungry.
That means you're very, very, very hungry.
All right, or I'm super woman.
Also, it means that you are very much a great woman.
All right, like Superman is very good at going fast and doing things, and so he's super means great or exceptional. So in this case, I'm exceptionally busy.
That's right. And moving on to the next line where Jeremy says that he was discussing the contract with Bill. So a contract, we know what this means.
Yeah, what is this? So a contract is a document, and it's something that you have to have two or more groups for, or two or more parties. So Marco, between you and me, we could have a contract. It says that when we come to record, you will be respectful of me.
That's right.
And then we will both sign.
So it's kind of an agreement between two, as you said, or more people, but you are promising to respect the contract and to do what the contract says.
And if you don't do what the contract says, we have a special verb. We say you broke the contract. So to break a contract.
That's right. Well, Jeremy was discussing the contract with Bill, and they said they met the head of Lawson's. Now, Lawson's is a company that we're just using for the dialogue, but what does it mean, the head of this company?
Okay, well, if you think about the company as a body, the head is the top. And in this case, that would be the president or the manager or the leader. It's the most important person.
Okay, so we can also use this in our offices. For example, the person in charge of marketing, the director of marketing, we also call him the head of marketing.
Or the head of the sales division would be the manager of the sales team, or whoever's most important in sales.
Another very common example, I think, is the president. Many times they call him the head of state.
Yeah, the head of state. So you can have a dinner with many heads of state, and those could be kings or queens or presidents.
Very good. All right, so that's all the vocab for language takeaway. Why don't we take a short break and listen to the dialogue again?
Hi, Michelle. Do you need to use the photocopier?
Oh, hi, Jeremy. No, please, go ahead. So, how are you, Jeremy? I was talking to Linda about you only last week.
Oh, I'm fine, thanks. I'm super busy with work, actually. Did you hear about the Lawson contract?
No, tell me more.
Well, I was discussing the contract with Bill, and he said that they met the head of Lawson's last week.
And?
And hopefully they're going to confirm the deal on Wednesday. Fingers crossed.
That's great news, Jeremy. Congratulations. Anyway, I must get back, but give my regards to your wife, Monica.
I will, Michelle. Speak to you soon.
All right, we're back. So now let's take a look at Fluency Builder.
Fluency Builder.
So there's a great phrase here in Fluency Builder that we use when we're trying to be polite in English. Michelle says, "Oh, hi, Jeremy. Please go ahead."
Okay, so Jeremy asked if she needs to use the photocopier, and he said, "No, Jeremy, it's okay. Go ahead. Please go ahead."
Okay, this literally means you go, ahead of me. But in reality, she's basically saying, "I can wait. You go first."
So if you're going into a building and somebody opens the door before you and they say, "Please go ahead,"
that means they'll hold the door and you can go inside first. So
Very
please
good.
go ahead. This is a very polite thing to do. And if you're in line and you see someone is in a hurry, you can say this to them. Please go ahead.
All right, very good. Please go ahead. And we also, going back to the contract, discussed about confirming the deal. Okay.
All right, so you have a deal or an agreement or a contract. But the thing you do to make sure that you all agree is you confirm. So this means you want to make sure it is actually going to happen.
And you can actually confirm with many different things. Like you can confirm your tickets to go to Italy.
Or can we confirm those holidays before I make my bookings? Because I want to go to Italy.
Exactly. So you confirm something, and then Jeremy said a very strange phrase here, fingers crossed, after talking about the deal.
Okay, so fingers crossed is an interesting phrase. It doesn't mean, okay, now go cross your fingers, but it's something we say to be superstitious because it means basically, I hope so, or hopefully.
Right.
Because fingers crossed, when you cross your fingers in many Anglo-American kind of cultures, you are saying that you hope something will happen. It's to bring good luck. All right, so, oh gosh, I really hope it doesn't rain today.
And then I say fingers crossed.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed it doesn't. That means that we hope it doesn't, but now that you said that, maybe it will.
Right. So it's kind of a superstitious belief that people have that if you cross your fingers, it will bring good luck, or what you say will happen or won't happen.
That's right. Fingers crossed.
All right. So let's take a break now and listen to our dialogue one last time.
Hi, Michelle. Do you need to use the photocopier?
Oh, hi, Jeremy. No, please, go ahead. So, how are you, Jeremy? I was talking to Linda about you only last week.
Oh, I'm fine, thanks. I'm super busy with work, actually. Did you hear about the Lawson contract?
No, tell me more.
Well, I was discussing the contract with Bill, and he said that they met the head of Lawson's last week.
And?
And hopefully they're going to confirm the deal on Wednesday. Fingers crossed.
That's great news, Jeremy. Congratulations. Anyway, I must get back, but give my regards to your wife, Monica.
I will, Michelle. Speak to you soon.
So this is a very common scenario in an office, in a normal office setting, where maybe you meet your friend in the kitchen or the water cooler, the photocopier, and you have very small, brief conversations.
That's right. And you're often going to hear this called water cooler talk because you don't want to have a long conversation about something really deep at the water cooler, but you do want to talk about, basic things that you have in common, or work stuff, how's that paper coming along, or how's that I heard you had great sales last week. And so these are great short things you can talk about with your colleagues.
Right. Very good. And as we say, it's some of the phrases and the vocab are key things that you can use to start up a small conversation, very brief, to talk about, small things with your colleagues.
That's right. So we hope that you'll tune into our future lessons about small talk. And if you have any questions or comments, you're welcome to find us on EnglishPod.com.
We'll see you guys there.
Bye.
Bye. Hello, everyone, and welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
My name is Catherine, and today we have another episode in our series about small talk. So, small talk, Marco, is what exactly?
Quick little conversation that you have maybe with a colleague or friend, or even with a stranger, maybe in the elevator, just about the weather or some small little topic.
So you're not talking about the meaning of life, you're talking about the weather or food. So let's check out today's dialogue, and we'll be back in a minute to talk more about what's going on.
Oh, dear miss, you are soaked. Wow, it's really raining heavily outside.
Yes, it sure is. I had to run here from work. I need to rush as I'm on my lunch break.
Well, please, why don't you go ahead of me in line? I'm in no hurry.
Oh, that's so nice of you. Thank you very much.
My pleasure, miss. Actually, could you recommend what to eat here? I've never been here before.
Sure. Well, the avocado sandwich is delicious, and it's the healthiest thing on the menu. Personally, I think the beef salad is the tastiest choice. I usually get that. Also, the milkshakes are the best milkshakes in town.
Well, thanks for the suggestions.
No, don't mention it.
All right, we're back. So as we saw in this dialogue, it's a small talk conversation with two strangers who are actually buying some food. So this is something that could happen if you are waiting in line at a supermarket, if you're at the bank, or even at a shop like in this case.
Exactly. This kind of conversation happens all the time. So let's take a look at some words and phrases in today's language takeaway.
Language takeaway.
All right, so the first word that we have for you today is the gentleman, the older person, noticed how wet the girl was. She said, "You are soaked."
All right, so it's raining outside, and he says, "Oh dear miss, you are soaked." All right, this is an adjective. It describes what she looks like.
So if you are soaked, it means that you are a little bit wet?
Very wet.
Very wet.
You can say that someone is a little wet, but if they're soaked, it means their shoes, their pants, their shirt, their hat, everything is very wet.
Okay, you are soaked. And so it's an adjective. Even though it has an ed ending, it may look like a verb or in the past, but it's not. It's an adjective with an ed ending.
That's right. So it's raining outside. This woman is very wet. She's soaked. She's wet. And she says, "I have to rush. I have to hurry because of what?"
Because I'm on my lunch break. She's on her lunch break.
Okay, so during work, we might have something called a break. This is a short time when we don't have to work. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And the break that we have at lunch, when we get to eat, is a little bit longer. So we call this a lunch break.
That's right. So usually people have their lunch break, let's say, at noon or 1 o'clock. And it's usually an hour, like you say.
That's right, an hour.
Okay, so she's on her lunch break, and that's why she's in a hurry. And so the other guy let her go in front of him, and he asked her for some suggestions. What is good here? What do you recommend to eat?
That's right. So he's not familiar with the food, but the woman is. And she says, well, the avocado sandwich is delicious.
Okay.
Now, let's talk about this fruit, because it is a fruit, right, Marco?
It's a fruit, an avocado. It's you see this, it looks like a big green pear, more or less.
That's right. Well, it's green on the inside and it's dark on the outside. So to eat it, you have to take off the skin.
Yeah, that's right. And inside, it's kind of buttery almost. You kind of... It's not hard like a banana or an apple. It's kind of more very, very soft. You can take it out with a spoon.
That's right. It's very, very delicious. And it's very common in a lot of Latin cooking, where you have, for example, guacamole in Mexican cooking, which is made primarily of avocados.
That's right. So she recommends the avocado sandwich, and then she goes on to describe some of the food. And now here, we're going to take a look at some adjectives, but in a superlative form. For example, she said it's the healthiest thing on the menu, this sandwich.
Okay, so this is a really important point, Marco, and I'm glad you brought it up. I can say that this food is healthy. That means it's good for my body. But if I say that it's the healthiest, what does that mean? How is that different from healthy?
Basically, you're saying that it's on the list of things that are at the restaurant maybe that are healthy, this is the most healthy. But you don't say most healthy, you say healthiest.
Healthiest. Okay, so is chocolate cake the healthiest thing on the menu?
No, probably not.
It's probably the least healthy. So on top we have the healthiest thing on the menu. We also have another superlative. We heard the word tastiest.
Right, this comes from the adjective tasty. Something is delicious, it's tasty, it tastes good. But here we're saying that it's the thing that tastes the best, the tastiest choice.
Okay, so I think that the avocado sandwich is the tastiest. That means I think it's the best thing you can eat. And that's another one, actually. Best is another superlative, but it's a little bit different because it's not an ist.
Right.
It's not like tastiest
Exactly.
or healthiest. It's just best.
Right. You're saying that it's the number one. So the best milkshake in town, like in this dialogue. Or you say the best soccer player in the world is so-and-so.
All right, so this comes from the adjective good. So we have good, which is not bad, and the best, which is the most good, right?
Yeah, exactly. But you don't say the most good, you say the best.
He's the best. So maybe Ronaldo is one of the best soccer players in the world.
Exactly. All right, so now let's take a break. Let's take a look at everything again, and we'll be right back with Fluency Builder.
Oh, dear miss, you are soaked. Wow, it's really raining heavily outside.
Yes, it sure is. I had to run here from work. I need to rush as I'm on my lunch break.
Well, please, why don't you go ahead of me in line? I'm in no hurry.
Oh, that's so nice of you. Thank you very much.
My pleasure, miss. Actually, could you recommend what to eat here? I've never been here before.
Sure. Well, the avocado sandwich is delicious, and it's the healthiest thing on the menu. Personally, I think the beef salad is the tastiest choice. I usually get that. Also, the milkshakes are the best milkshakes in town.
Well, thanks for the suggestions.
No, don't mention it.
All right, we're back. So now let's take a look at 3 phrases we picked out on Fluency Builder.
Fluency Builder.
So I have a great phrase here, something that we often hear in conversation, polite conversations. The older man says, "I'm in no hurry." Now, what does this mean? Does this mean he needs to go somewhere?
No, he says, you know what? I really don't have to go anywhere fast. That's why he let her, the girl, get in front of him in line at the shop.
All right, so basically it means I can wait.
I can wait, yeah. So if somebody says, oh, I'll be right back, please wait a moment, you can say, I'm in no hurry, take your time.
Okay, so I'm in no hurry means it's not that important. I don't have to go fast.
Right, but if you change the no and you say, I'm in a hurry, then that means that you have to go fast.
Come on, Marco, speed it up. I'm in a hurry.
Exactly.
In a hurry. Okay.
Yes. So just changing those 2 words, that gives you a completely different meaning. And, well, the girl, Michelle, she said, oh, that's so nice of you. Thank you very much. And he says, my pleasure.
All right. So this is an alternative to the phrase, you're welcome. Okay. This is a very polite way to say you're welcome. And so when we hear her thank him for something, you know, thank you for letting me go ahead of you. He says, my pleasure. This is a great, great phrase for you guys.
Exactly. So now you have another alternative. Instead of saying you're welcome or no problem or don't mention it, now you have it's my pleasure.
This is a little bit more formal, but you can use it in any circumstance.
That's right. And as I said, another option here is the phrase don't mention it, which means exactly the same thing. You're welcome.
That's right. So the older gentleman says, thanks for the suggestions. Thanks for your help. And what does the young woman say?
Don't mention it.
Don't mention it. So this is more colloquial. This is a little bit more spoken language. She's saying, no problem. You're welcome.
That's right. So you have you're welcome, no problem, my pleasure, don't mention it. All ways of saying the same thing.
All right, so let's take another listen to our dialogue. We'll be back in a moment.
Oh, dear miss, you are soaked. Wow, it's really raining heavily outside.
Yes, it sure is. I had to run here from work. I need to rush as I'm on my lunch break.
Well, please, why don't you go ahead of me in line? I'm in no hurry.
Oh, that's so nice of you. Thank you very much.
My pleasure, miss. Actually, could you recommend what to eat here? I've never been here before.
Sure. Well, the avocado sandwich is delicious, and it's the healthiest thing on the menu. Personally, I think the beef salad is the tastiest choice. I usually get that. Also, the milkshakes are the best milkshakes in town.
Well, thanks for the suggestions.
No, don't mention it.
All right, we're back. So talking about the superlatives, I know it's a complicated subject because grammar-wise, it can be a little bit difficult to determine when do you say, for example, beautiful. Do you say more beautiful or do you say beautifulest?
You say more beautiful.
That's right.
Well, I don't really have a hard and fast rule for everyone. It's one of those things that you learn while you're studying English and you just have to remember.
Yes, there are some exceptions, but usually you can guide yourself by adjectives that have usually 3 or more syllables. You probably have to use most or more.
Amazing.
Right, you don't say amazingest.
Most amazing.
Most amazing or more amazing.
What about funny?
Funny. So then you say funnier or funniest.
Or sad.
You can say saddest.
All right, so sad, funny. These are 1 and 2 syllables. Sad, funny, saddest, funniest. You can use this ending. But with the words like beautiful or amazing, they're 3 syllables. They're long. You
Yeah.
have to say most amazing, most beautiful.
Yeah, and there are some exceptions to the rule. You may find them, but usually if you see an adjective that's a little bit long like this, you can just say, you can just use more for the comparative or most for the superlative.
All right, so lots of stuff there. I recommend that you guys go check out the dialogue and expansion sentences we have for today. Our website is englishpod.com.
All right, we'll see you guys there.
Bye.
Bye. Hello, everyone, and welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
My name is Catherine, and you've probably heard us talking a little bit about small talk the past few weeks. We have another episode about small talk, and we're going to teach you some things that you can say to people when you haven't seen them or maybe even met them before.
That's right. Today we're going to talk to a stranger. So we're going to talk very briefly about some casual topic. And so let's jump into the dialogue and see what happens.
Excuse me, is this seat taken?
No, please, feel free.
Thanks a lot.
Do you work in Shanghai?
Yes, I do. How about you?
No, I'm a tourist. This place is amazing. It's much bigger than I imagined and much more exciting. There's so much to see here.
You can say that again. It's much more modern than people imagine. Where are you from?
Well, let's see. I'm from Kansas originally, a much quieter and more peaceful place than here, that's for sure.
Uh-huh.
But I'm living in Paris right now.
Oh, Paris. Wonderful. I'd love to visit sometime.
All right, we're back. So now we're going to take a look at a lot of phrases on this occasion. So let's go for Fluency Builder Part 1.
Fluency Builder.
All right, so the first phrase we have is a very common phrase if you're in a train or on a bus. You hear the phrase, is this seat taken?
Right, so Michelle came up to the stranger and said, "Excuse me, is this seat taken?"
That means, is anybody sitting here? It basically means, can I sit here?
Right.
But this is a very polite way of asking if you can sit down in the seat. You can also say it in a restaurant, at a movie theater, in a classroom. So remember this one. This was a really, really common phrase.
So it's a very polite polite way of saying, can I sit down, right?
That's right.
You're asking for permission, basically.
Is the seat taken?
Because what if a person says, well, no, it's not? Do you have to say, may I sit down? May I take a seat?
Well, if they say, I'm sorry, someone is sitting here, that means that maybe they're waiting for a friend, and then no, you can't sit there.
Okay.
But if they say, sure, like in the dialogue, feel free, then you're really basically able to sit down, no problem.
Right. So the stranger answers by saying, no, please feel free. So he says, no, the seat is not taken. Please feel free. What does he mean by this?
Okay, feel free is a very unusual phrase in English, but one that you're going to hear a lot. It basically means do what you want to do.
Okay.
Okay, so if I want to sit down, I say, is this seat taken? If you say feel free, Marco, that means feel free to sit down.
Okay, so we can complete the sentence by saying, no, please feel free to sit down, but it's kind of stating the obvious. You're saying basically feel free to do what you want.
That's right, but you could use it in other ways. For example, hey, Marco, are you using this pen right here?
No, feel free.
That means feel free to use my pen.
Okay, very good. And so then they started talking about what they do, where they work. And Michelle said, yes, I work in Shanghai. How about you?
Oh, how about you? Now, this is a really important construction. This is a really important phrase in English, and I think a lot of people make mistakes with this. So how about you means, do you work in Shanghai? I just said I work in Shanghai, but how about you? Do you?
Right, exactly. So that's saying, and you, do you work here? Or, and you, what do you do? How about you? Now, the common mistake with how about you, or using the construction how about, is that for some reason, some people seem to think that it means how is it? So, for example, if someone says, how about your weekend? That's wrong.
No, we don't say that. How was your weekend? But in this case, how about you always follows a statement. Okay, so yes, I do live in Shanghai. How about you? That
Right.
means, do you live in Shanghai?
Right.
If I say, I would like to eat a hamburger and french fries, how about you?
How about you?
What would you like to eat?
Exactly. So remember, that's the way that you use how about. Never say how about your weekend or how about your vacation when you want to ask how was it. Don't say that.
No, basically this is a way to reply to someone when they're telling you about their experience. You want to talk about yours.
That's right. Okay, so let's take a break. Let's review everything, and we'll be back with Fluency Builder Part 2.
Excuse me, is this seat taken?
No, please, feel free.
Thanks a lot.
Do you work in Shanghai?
Yes, I do. How about you?
No, I'm a tourist. This place is amazing. It's much bigger than I imagined and much more exciting. There's so much to see here.
You can say that again. It's much more modern than people imagine. Where are you from?
Well, let's see. I'm from Kansas originally. A much quieter and more peaceful place than here, that's for sure.
Uh-huh.
But I'm living in Paris right now.
Oh, Paris. Wonderful. I'd love to visit sometime.
All right, we're back. So now let's continue with some more phrases on Fluency Builder.
Okay, this first phrase is one that I really like to use. The phrase is from Michelle. She says, you can say that again. But she's talking about how Shanghai is so big and so exciting. And Michelle says, you can say that again. Now, what does this mean, Marco?
That's right. So she is basically agreeing with the person. The stranger says, Shanghai is amazing. It's great. There's so much to see. Michelle says, you can say that again. It's saying, I agree with you. You are so right.
I really agree. All right, so this is very emphatic. That means that it's really, it's more than just I agree. It's I really, really agree. The person really feels something about this, feels passionately about it.
That's right. So if you go to the movies and you say, oh, that movie was terrible, you can say,
you can say that again.
exactly.
That means, oh, I agree. It was really bad.
That's right. Now, when Michelle asked the stranger where he was from, he says, I'm from Kansas originally.
Okay, what's originally? I'm original? No. I'm from Kansas originally means maybe I don't live in Kansas now, but that's where I come from. Origin, originally. That means, at the beginning.
Right. So just remember, Kansas, by the way, is one of the states in the United States. And so he's saying he's from Kansas, but now he lives in Paris. So that's why you say, I'm originally from Kansas, but I live in Paris.
All right, so Marco, you live here in Shanghai, but where do you come from originally?
Originally, I'm from Ecuador.
All right. And I'm originally from Chicago, but I currently live in China.
That's right. Okay, so as he was talking about Kansas, he also said that, well, it's obviously a lot quieter and more peaceful. And then he ends his statement by saying, "That's for sure."
That's for sure. And this is a phrase that we use to add emphasis on something. It's almost like saying, this is a really quiet, much quieter and peaceful place. That's for sure. It really is. It's not like you're adding anything to the statement, like no meaning, but you're actually kind of making it more strong.
Right. You're saying it's a fact.
It's a fact.
It's really this way. So obviously Kansas compared to Shanghai is a lot more quieter. That's for sure.
Or I could say that in Chicago in the winter, it's a lot colder than Shanghai. That's for sure.
Right. So again, you're emphasizing on your statement, telling everyone that it's very, very much like this.
This is how it really is.
Okay. So that's all the phrases we have for you. Why don't we listen to our dialogue one last time?
Excuse me, is this seat taken?
No, please, feel free.
Thanks a lot.
Do you work in Shanghai?
Yes, I do. How about you?
No, I'm a tourist. This place is amazing. It's much bigger than I imagined and much more exciting. There's so much to see here.
You can say that again. It's much more modern than people imagine. Where are you from?
Well, let's see. I'm from Kansas originally, a much quieter and more peaceful place than here, that's for sure.
Uh-huh.
But I'm living in Paris right now.
Oh, Paris. Wonderful. I'd love to visit sometime.
All right, so small talk with a stranger. This is actually a very common scenario. If in a bus, in a train, you sit next to a stranger, this is more or less what you're going to talk about. Where are you from? What do you do? Where do you live?
That's right. And you don't even have to talk about this with a total stranger. You could actually use this with someone that you're working with or, just an acquaintance. So basically, these are key questions that you would ask someone that you don't really know very well.
That's right. And as you can see, you're not really going into any deep personal questions. It's very light conversation, very brief as well.
That's right. And I would like to add that in American culture, people often think it's very rude to ask someone, how much do you earn? How much is your apartment? How much is your car? So, in small talk in American culture, and I think a lot of Western cultures, we don't talk about money or religion.
Yes.
So what religion are you? So I think it's important to talk about things that are very, very simple. What do you do for a living? Where do you live? How's the weather? These things.
Yes. This is exactly, I think, one of the main points that when you're learning a language such as English, not only to understand the language, but also the culture. It's very, very different, especially, for example, in Asian cultures where it's no big deal if you go to the hairdresser and the hairdresser asks you how much you earn. But in the United States or many Western countries, it's not something that you talk about, your salary, or that you really ask. It's kind of personal information.
It is. And if you talk about it, you might make people very uncomfortable. And so I recommend talking about some of the things that we've discussed here and some of the things that we've discussed in other lessons in this series about small talk.
That's right. And if you have any questions or any comments about this lesson, you can come and visit us at EnglishPod.com.
We hope to see you guys there. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And my name is Catherine. And today at English Pod, we have a lesson for you about small talk.
That's right. We continue with our series about short, casual conversations you may have with your friends, somebody you haven't seen in a long time, or maybe even a coworker.
That's right. So in today's dialogue, we're going to listen to two people who work in the same building. They're going to talk a little bit about travel, right, Marco?
Yep. We're going to talk a little bit about recommending a place to go on vacation, maybe Europe. And so we're going to have some great phrases as to speaking of this topic very briefly with a friend.
All right, let's listen to today's dialogue.
Hey, Michelle, good to see you. Are you at lunch?
Oh, hi, Jim. No, I just got back. I thought you were on vacation now.
No, I wish I was. I just got back from Spain, actually.
Oh, wonderful. Have you been there before, or was it your first time?
My first time. I've traveled around Europe a lot, but this was my first time to Spain. It was amazing, and the weather was just beautiful. No rain and just sun, sun, sun.
I'm so jealous of you. I've never been anywhere in Europe. I've always dreamed of traveling around and seeing the sights.
Well, I really recommend Spain. You really should go. Anyway, it's been great to catch up, but I must be going. This is my floor. Speak again soon, I hope.
For sure. Take care.
All right, we're back. So now let's take a look at some of the language on language takeaway.
Language takeaway.
All right, in language takeaway, we've got a couple of words and phrases for you. The first one is, I just got back. So to get back from somewhere, Marco.
That's right. Jim just got back from Europe. And when you say I just got back is I recently or very recently returned from somewhere.
That's right. To get back from somewhere means to return from that place. So in this dialogue, Jim just got back from Spain. Michelle just got back from lunch. This means to return from somewhere.
That's right. So it can be a place, not only a country, but it can be, for example, the office. I just got back from work.
Or, I just got back from football practice. That's why I'm very sweaty.
Right. So this obviously means that you are now not in the same place where you just got back from.
No, I'm from America. I went to Spain on vacation, and I just got back from Spain. That means I'm in America again.
Yeah, exactly. You're not still in Spain.
No.
All right. So that's for our first word. Now let's go on. And Michelle said, oh, I'm so jealous of you.
All right. Jealous is an adjective and a very, very common one. You can use it in many different circumstances. It means to want what someone else has.
That's right. So in this case, Michelle is jealous that Jim went on vacation. So she wishes she could go on vacation.
That's right. I'm so jealous of you. Or if you see someone who has a new pair of shoes and you like the shoes because you don't have them, you can say, I'm so jealous. I love your shoes.
That's right. So you say, I am jealous, or if you are jealous of a person, you say, I am jealous of you. And so they were ending their conversation, and Jim said, you know what? It's been great to catch up with you.
All right, this is a really important phrase, to catch up. It means two different things, and we're going to talk about one meaning here today. To catch up with someone, like to talk to them about what they've been doing recently, means to learn about their life, because maybe you haven't talked in a long time.
That's right. So maybe you haven't seen your friend in 2 years and you go out for dinner to catch up, to talk about what has happened in your lives recently.
That's right. Or you can, if you see a friend on the street and you know that you haven't seen him or her in a long time, you can make a date to catch up. So, hey, Marco, I haven't seen you in months. Let's catch up sometime soon.
That's right. And that means to share information and to find out how you have been recently.
Exactly.
All right. Now, when he was getting out of the elevator, he said, this is my floor. Now, we know floor, but my floor, what is this
My
all about?
floor, your floor, whose floor?
Right.
This doesn't make much sense, does it? Well, actually, floor here means that this is the floor that I work on or the floor that I live on. It means the place I'm going to.
Right. So we know floor, the ground beneath our feet in a building. But in this case, we're talking about one of the levels of a building. So maybe the 6th floor.
That's right. So if I'm in my apartment building, in the elevator, I can say, oh, stop the elevator. This is my floor. I want to get off the elevator.
Right. This is where I live. All right. So a lot of great stuff there. Why don't we take a break and listen to the dialogue again?
Hey, Michelle, good to see you. Are you at lunch?
Oh, hi, Jim. No, I just got back. I thought you were on vacation now.
No, I wish I was. I just got back from Spain, actually.
Oh, wonderful. Have you been there before, or was it your first time?
My first time. I've traveled around Europe a lot, but this was my first time to Spain. It was amazing, and the weather was just beautiful. No rain and just sun, sun, sun.
I'm so jealous of you. I've never been anywhere in Europe. I've always dreamed of traveling around and seeing the sights.
Well, I really recommend Spain. You really should go. Anyway, it's been great to catch up, but I must be going. This is my floor. Speak again soon, I hope.
For sure. Take care.
All right, we're back. So now let's take a look at 4 key phrases on Fluency Builder.
Fluency builder.
So there are some keys to these small talk conversations, and they are definitely the phrases. The first one we have here is good to see you. So Jim says, hey, Michelle, good to see you.
That's right. So we've chosen this phrase because it's very casual and very common to use as a polite way of saying, hey, how are you? Good to see you. I'm actually showing you that I'm happy that I am talking to you.
So this is a very flexible phrase. You can say it at the beginning of a conversation when you just see someone. Hey, Marco, good to see you. Or at the end, you can say, it was very good to see you. I hope to see you again soon.
That's right. So maybe you can use it at the beginning if you just begin to talk to someone, or if you're saying goodbye, you can say, well, you know what? I have to go now, but it's been good to see you.
Mm-hmm. So very flexible phrase.
That's right. That's right. Now, when Michelle thought that Jim was on vacation, Jim said, no. I wish I was.
All right. I wish I was. I thought you were on vacation. So she thought that he was still on vacation in Spain. And he says, well, I'm not because, here I am, but I wish I was. I wish I was in Spain right now because Spain is so nice.
That's right. So it may seem a little bit strange, but it's actually completing the idea. So, and basically we're using the verb to be because that's the question. Are you on vacation? No, I wish I was on vacation.
So that means he's not, but he wants to be.
That's right. Okay, so now he actually had to get going, and he used this exact phrase. He said, I must be going.
I must be going. Now remember this as a phrase. This is a good way to end a conversation. Maybe you have to go to work. Maybe you have your kids at home. You have to take them somewhere. So you say, I'm really sorry. I must be going, but let's see each other again soon.
That's right. So you are politely ending the conversation. You are politely saying, I can't talk to you anymore. I must be going now, but it's been great to talk to you.
That's right. Very polite. So remember this one. It's better than I'm going now.
Right.
We don't say that.
Yeah, or I have to go. Well, you can say I have to go, but it's nice saying, oh, you know what? I really like talking to you, but I must be going now. And Jim also finished by saying, we'll speak again soon. And Michelle said, for sure.
For sure. Now, Americans particularly love to say this phrase. For sure means yes, or I agree, or definitely.
Right. You can use it as an interjection. So if I say, hey, Catherine, am I going to see you later on today?
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. There we go. So you're saying yes, absolutely, definitely, for sure.
So, Marco, my birthday is Friday night. Are you going to come to the party?
For sure. I wouldn't miss it for the world.
Aw.
All right. So that's all we have for today. Why don't we review everything we've taken a look at now and listen to the dialogue one last time.
Hey, Michelle, good to see you. Are you at lunch?
Oh, hi, Jim. No, I just got back. I thought you were on vacation now.
No, I wish I was. I just got back from Spain, actually.
Oh, wonderful. Have you been there before, or was it your first time?
My first time. I've traveled around Europe a lot, but this was my first time to Spain. It was amazing, and the weather was just beautiful. No rain and just sun, sun, sun.
I'm so jealous of you. I've never been anywhere in Europe. I've always dreamed of traveling around and seeing the sights.
Well, I really recommend Spain. You really should go. Anyway, it's been great to catch up, but I must be going. This is my floor. Speak again soon, I hope.
For sure. Take care.
All right, so this was another part of our small talk series. As you can see, very short, but very useful language used to talk very briefly with someone. It always happens. You meet somebody at the elevator, or you just want to talk very quickly.
Yeah, but you don't want to talk about anything that's too personal, like someone's politics or their religious beliefs or their children, because maybe you don't know them very well.
Right.
So these are really great topics to talk about, like business trips or vacation or the weather. English speakers love to talk about these when they don't know someone that well.
That's right. That's right. So if you have any questions or any comments about this lesson, or you want to suggest any other topics, you can find us at englishpod.com.
We hope to see you all there. Bye.
See you guys. Bye. Hello, everyone, and welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
My name is Catherine, and we've got another lesson in our series about small talk today.
That's right. Today we are at the office again, and we're going to be talking very briefly about a business meeting that we're going to have soon.
That's right. So let's check out our dialogue. We'll be back in a moment.
Michelle. Hi. I was hoping to see you. How have you been? How's the family?
Oh, hello, Mr. Campbell. I'm fine, and Jack's doing well. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. I got your report this morning. Thanks for that. Are you joining the conference today?
Yes, I'm leaving at 4 p.m.
Good. Well, we can discuss this more then. But I think the figures are looking very good for this quarter.
Yes, me too.
I'm planning to discuss the advertising budget at the conference. I don't think we should continue with the TV advertising.
No, me neither. It's far too expensive.
Well, let's discuss this more at the conference. Maybe we can share a taxi there?
Yes, sure.
All right, we're back, so now let's take a look at some vocab on language takeaway.
Language takeaway.
Today in Language Takeaway, we have a number of phrases and words about business. The first one we have is, are you joining the conference today?
That's right. So we're going to go to a conference, actually, which is a little bit different than a meeting.
That's right. A meeting is something you normally do with people at your own company. But a conference is when people from many different companies meet.
That's right. So, and also I think you don't really have too much input at a conference. You mostly listen to other people speak about a topic or a subject.
That's right. And I think these are normally held in conference centers or hotels. You have a nice lunch. So they're pretty big deals.
That's right. All right. So it's more of a formal business conference that we're going to. And, well, they're actually going to discuss different aspects of the company as well, especially the figures.
All right, so in the context of business, the word figure actually means number. Okay, so we can say the sales numbers for this year are a kind of figure.
That's right. So we're talking about money, basically, when we're talking about numbers.
That's right. So when the figures look good, it means that our income, our revenue, this looks good.
That's right. And when we usually talk about income or revenue, we usually have to separate it into time. And here in the dialogue, we're talking about a quarter.
All right, so quarter, QU, quarter, is a period of time very common in business that is a quarter of the year. So 3 months.
3 months, that's right.
January, February, March, April, May, June, and so on.
That's right. So you have 4 quarters, and that's actually that's why you call it a quarter, because it's 1/4.
So we can say the figures for the first quarter were very good, but unfortunately the figures for the second quarter were very bad.
That's right. And actually another similar way that you use quarter is the 25-cent coin. It's called a quarter because it's a quarter of a dollar.
That's right. And if you're in America, you know that it has an eagle, a bird, on one side of it.
That's right. All right. So we are taking a look at the figures for the quarter. And they're saying, well, it's not looking too good because we need to talk about the advertising budget.
All right. So this is something that you think is very important. It's budget. It's how much money you have to spend on something. And in this case, you're spending it on advertising. So this is ads that you make.
That's right. So as you said, a budget is the amount of money that you have available to spend on something, and on this occasion we're talking about advertising. Now, you can have a budget for different things, right?
You could have a marketing budget.
So the money you have for marketing.
You could have a personnel budget, which is the money you would set aside for people.
So how much you pay your employees. Right, so you can pretty much mix up many different nouns with budget. Even you can have a budget for your home, how much you spend at home.
That's right. So many people have this for their families. They say, this month I will spend $100 on shopping and $200 on shoes. Yeah.
So it's like a family budget, you would call it.
That's right.
Okay, so that's all the words we have for you on Language Takeaway. Let's review everything quickly, and we'll be back in a bit with Fluency Builder.
Michelle. Hi. I was hoping to see you. How have you been? How's the family?
Oh, hello, Mr. Campbell. I'm fine, and Jack's doing well. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. I got your report this morning. Thanks for that. Are you joining the conference today?
Yes, I'm leaving at 4 p.m.
Good. Well, we can discuss this more then. But I think the figures are looking very good for this quarter.
Yes, me too.
I'm planning to discuss the advertising budget at the conference. I don't think we should continue with the TV advertising.
No, me neither. It's far too expensive.
Well, let's discuss this more at the conference. Maybe we can share a taxi there?
Yes, sure.
All right, in today's Fluency Builder, we have a number of phrases you could use in a small talk situation. The first one is a question. How's the family?
How's the family? Now, it's how apostrophe S the family, right? So how is the family would be the extended way of saying it.
That's right, but this is a short way to say it. It's very common, and you normally say this with people who are a little bit older, people who have kids. So I haven't seen you in a long time, Marco, and I know you have some kids, and I can say, how's the family?
How's the family? That's right. And it's actually, it may seem strange, the way that this sentence is made, but it's very, very much similar to how are you? You have how, to be, and you in the subject.
That's right. And this is a very polite way to say hi. How are you? How is your family?
How is the wife?
How's the wife?
How's the wife? And she said, well, you know what? Everything is great. I'm fine. And Jack's, I guess that's her husband, is doing well.
Jack is doing well. So doing well, thanks. This means good. Okay. But when we say the answer to this question, how are you? I'm well. That's the correct answer. I'm good is not correct.
Right. So if somebody says, how are you? You can say, I'm well, or you can say, I'm doing well.
That's a positive answer. Things are going well. You could say, not so well. That's not good things are happening.
Very good. And it's very important to point out the difference, as Catherine said. You shouldn't use good. I'm doing good, or I'm good.
Yeah, no, it's incorrect because good is an adjective and we're looking for an adverb here.
That's right.
Well.
That's right. All right. And to finish things off, Mr. Campbell and Michelle were headed the same way, so they decided to share a taxi.
That's right. So to share a taxi means 2 people or 3 people will pay for one taxi together. So maybe, Marco, I see you on the street, and I know that you have to go to a conference. I'm going to the same conference. Let's share a taxi. It will cost less.
That's right. So you will share the cost between all the people in the cab. Now, there's another way of saying it as well, more common, I think, in the United States.
That's right. We say split a taxi. Let's split a cab.
Split a cab. Now, remember that it's a taxi cab. So sometimes people just don't say taxi, they say a cab. Let's split a cab. Let's share a cab.
That's right. Cab, taxi, both are okay.
All right. Very good. Good stuff. Let's listen to everything one last time.
Michelle. Hi. I was hoping to see you. How have you been? How's the family?
Oh, hello, Mr. Campbell. I'm fine, and Jack's doing well. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. I got your report this morning. Thanks for that. Are you joining the conference today?
Yes, I'm leaving at 4 p.m.
Good. Well, we can discuss this more then. But I think the figures are looking very good for this quarter.
Yes, me too.
I'm planning to discuss the advertising budget at the conference. I don't think we should continue with the TV advertising.
No, me neither. It's far too expensive.
Well, let's discuss this more at the conference. Maybe we can share a taxi there?
Yes, sure.
All right, so we're getting towards the end of our small talk series. As you can see, we are taking a look at different quick but very useful dialogues that you can have with someone, a small conversation, whether about business, family, whatever.
That's right. And in today's dialogue, we heard 2 people who probably know each other talking. So sometimes you're with people who are strangers. You don't know what to say to them. You can listen to our other episodes on small talk for things to talk about with those people.
That's right. And of course, if you have any questions or comments, you can visit us at englishpod.com.
We hope to see you all there. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello everyone, and welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
My name is Catherine, and today we're talking a little bit about more small talk.
That's right, we're going to continue our series. This is part 9, so we're coming close to the end of our 10-part series. And today we're following Melissa and Michelle as they discuss very casually their personal lives, specifically about their marriages or getting married.
That's right. So this one's a little bit more difficult than the last few. Let's take a listen to the dialogue, and when we come back, we'll be talking about some of those phrases that you heard.
Hey, Michelle. Jump in quick. It's pouring out there.
Oh, hi, Melissa. Are you going to the conference too? I was planning to pick up Mr. Campbell.
Yes, he told me. We need to pick him up at his hotel and then go to the conference.
Oh, I see. Okay. So, I heard you got married. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. I'm very excited. We were going to get married next year, but then we decided to get married on holiday instead. It was wonderful.
That sounds so romantic. Jack and I were hoping to get married in Europe next year, but we had to postpone our plans. We just don't have the money.
I know what you mean. I think Shanghai is getting more and more expensive, don't you?
I sure do. In my opinion, it's actually becoming more expensive than back home.
Definitely. Oh, there's Mr. Campbell. Driver, can you stop here, please?
All right, we're back. So a lot of interesting phrases in this dialogue, more than vocab. So we're going to have 2 fluency builders. Let's start with the first one now.
Fluency builder.
The first phrase in today's Fluency Builder is the phrase jump in. So Melissa says, hey, Michelle, jump in quick.
That's right. So Melissa is actually in a taxi, and that's why she's saying jump in quick.
So she is directing Michelle to do something. She's saying, jump in. So it's actually her telling Melissa, get in the car.
That's right. And so we can use this phrase to jump in somewhere, which means you're going to do it very quickly.
Yeah, to go somewhere, to get in a place very quickly. We could say it about a cab. We could also say it about a swimming pool.
Right.
Maybe I'm swimming in the water and I say, Marco, jump in. The water's nice.
That's right. Or maybe you just got back from the gym and you're going to jump in the shower really quick and before you go out again.
You're not actually going to jump like you jump
Right.
the action, but you're going to get into the shower very quickly.
That's right. And of course, Melissa tells Michelle to jump in the cab quickly because it's pouring out there.
It's pouring. What's pouring?
The
pouring,
rain.
pouring water, pouring wine.
That's right. It's actually, it's pouring water out there. It means it's raining very, very hard.
Okay, so it's not just drizzling a little bit. It's raining very hard. It's pouring rain. Okay, so we don't have to say the word rain. We can just say it's pouring.
That's right. As you can see in that sentence, Melissa doesn't say at any time it's raining, but we understand that when somebody says it's pouring out there, you know that it means it's raining very hard.
Can't be chocolate.
Can't be chocolate, can't be dogs or cats, right?
No.
All right, so Michelle gets in the cab and she says, well, we have to pick up Mr. Campbell, and Melissa says, yep, we need to pick him up at the hotel.
All right, the verb here is to pick up. Now, we want to just remember this as a phrasal verb. You pick someone up in your car. You could even pick someone up on your bicycle.
That's right. So, but you can see that you can say, we need to pick up Tommy at the hotel, or you can say, we need to pick Tommy up. So you can use it both ways. You can put the noun in between or after.
So can you pick me up at 5?
Right.
Or can you pick up the clothes at the dry cleaners?
That's right.
It means to go collect something
That's
or someone.
right. So you can use it in different ways. You can put the noun in between pickup, or you can put it after. And all right, so they're going to go pick up Mr. Campbell. Now they're talking, they're kind of gossiping a little bit. They said, well, I heard you got married.
All right, so I heard. Now, this is a very, very common way to start a sentence that might have some gossip in it. So I'm going to say something that might or might not be true.
That's right. So you're not really sure if it's true or not. So this is why you start with the sentence, I heard that something, something, something. So in this case, you said, I heard you got married.
Or I heard you got married, because I'm basically saying, well, some rumor made it to me and I heard that you got married, but I'm not sure. So she's asking, did you get married? If so, congratulations.
That's right. That's right. So it's a very common way of starting a sentence when you are talking to someone and maybe you want them to confirm this news or this gossip or this rumor is true or not.
I heard you got a promotion.
That's right.
Congratulations.
So that's the way that you use this phrase, I heard you. Or, well, if you're using another person, I heard that Tom got divorced.
I heard Susie had a baby.
That's right. All right, so that's all for the first part of Fluency Builder. Let's take a break, and we'll be back in a bit with part 2.
Hey, Michelle. Jump in quick. It's pouring out there.
Oh, hi, Melissa. Are you going to the conference too? I was planning to pick up Mr. Campbell.
Yes, he told me. We need to pick him up at his hotel and then go to the conference.
Oh, I see. Okay. So, I heard you got married. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. I'm very excited. We were going to get married next year, but then we decided to get married on holiday instead. It was wonderful.
That sounds so romantic. Jack and I were hoping to get married in Europe next year, but we had to postpone our plans. We just don't have the money.
I know what you mean. I think Shanghai is getting more and more expensive, don't you?
I sure do. In my opinion, it's actually becoming more expensive than back home.
Definitely. Oh, there's Mr. Campbell. Driver, can you stop here, please?
All right, so now we're back with part 2 of Fluency Builder. Let's get started with the first phrase when she says that they got married on holiday. What does that mean?
On holiday is another way of saying on vacation. So while we were having a holiday somewhere, this happened. So you could say, we decided to get married on holiday. That means when they were traveling, when they were on vacation, they got married.
So it's kind of more of a British way of saying, right? On holiday?
Yes, you could say, where did you go on holiday? But maybe in America, we'd prefer to say, where did you go on vacation?
On vacation. So both are correct. You can say we got married while on holiday or we got married while on vacation. Both are correct. There's just a little bit of difference between British English and American English. And then moving on, she said, well, they also wanted to get married. Michelle did, but they had to postpone their wedding.
Okay, to postpone something means to wait until later to do it. So you maybe want to do it today, but it's raining today, so you have to postpone until next week.
That's right. So it's kind of like you had to delay, you had to wait.
Yeah, that's right. So you could say that because of bad weather, the picnic will be postponed until next month.
Okay. So that's the way that you use postpone. Now, it's interesting because you have a P in between there, so it's postpone.
Postpone. Yeah, it's an interesting word to pronounce.
Okay. And, well, they also had to postpone it because of money. It's just very expensive. And Melissa agrees by saying, I know what you mean.
I know what you mean. Now, this is a really common phrase, and this is something you'll hear with more relaxed conversations between friends. It means, I understand the situation, or I feel the same way. So in this case, we just don't have the money. Melissa's saying, oh, I know what you mean. It means, I'm having a hard time with money too. I don't have much money either.
That's right. So you understand what she's talking about. You also agree. I know what you mean. It's just a way of agreeing with someone. All right. And then she goes on to confirm what Michelle is saying by saying, I think Shanghai is getting more and more expensive.
All right, this is a really, really key sentence structure here. We have more and more, and then after that we have an adjective. So the structure is more and more adjective. So more and more spicy, more and more funny, more and more expensive. So in this case, the city is more expensive than it was before.
That's right.
And it's still getting more expensive.
That's right. That's the main idea when you use this structure, is that when you say more, and then you add an adjective such as expensive or beautiful, it means that it continues to grow. It continues to get more expensive or more beautiful or more difficult. But remember that we are using adjectives here that are, when you're using the comparative, you can't say, for example, you can't use funny. You can't say you are getting more and more funny, because obviously the comparative for funny is funnier. So just be careful with that one, because it could be a little bit confusing. All right. So, and to finish off our fluency builder, we have Michelle, who agrees with Melissa and says, yeah, you know, I think Shanghai is getting more expensive. And she says, I sure do.
So she's basically agreeing. She's saying, yes, that's true.
But why does she say, I sure do? Why doesn't she say, agree? I agree, or yeah, you're right.
Well, she doesn't have to say it because she says, I do. The question before that was, I think something, something, don't you? And she says, I do. And then think that. So it's assumed that she also thinks this. She's answering a question.
That's right. So that's an interesting way of asking a question when you say, I think the city is beautiful, don't you? So the proper way to answer that would be, I do, or I sure do. All right, so that's all the time we have for Fluency Builder. Let's listen to our dialogue one last time.
Hey, Michelle. Jump in quick. It's pouring out there.
Oh, hi, Melissa. Are you going to the conference too? I was planning to pick up Mr. Campbell.
Yes, he told me. We need to pick him up at his hotel and then go to the conference.
Oh, I see. Okay. So, I heard you got married. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. I'm very excited. We were going to get married next year, but then we decided to get married on holiday instead. It was wonderful.
That sounds so romantic. Jack and I were hoping to get married in Europe next year, but we had to postpone our plans. We just don't have the money.
I know what you mean. I think Shanghai is getting more and more expensive, don't you?
I sure do. In my opinion, it's actually becoming more expensive than back home.
Definitely. Oh, there's Mr. Campbell. Driver, can you stop here, please?
All right, so we're reaching the end of our small talk series. In this case, it's two women who are talking about their personal lives. And not only that, they're talking about weddings and they're talking about money. So this is a very interesting way to talk about these very common topics: personal life, love, and especially money.
But remember, in American culture, these are the kinds of things you would only talk to your friends about. You wouldn't really want to talk to strangers about money, personal life, marriage, because those are considered private. So be careful when you're talking to people you don't know very well.
That's right. That's right. And actually, your feedback was very interesting when we discussed about if it's okay to ask, for example, a woman her age or her weight or a man's salary. So in most places you said that it wasn't really correct, but you know, this is the very interesting thing about the cultural differences and how people can, you know, what is appropriate to talk about.
That's right. So again, if you have any questions or comments about the things we talked about here today or any of our older lessons about small talk, please just let us know. Our website is englishpod.com.
All right, guys, we'll see you there.
Bye.
Bye. Hello, everyone, and welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
My name is Catherine, and today we're talking a little bit about small talk.
That's right. We are getting towards the end of our series. Actually, this is the last podcast that we will have all about small talk, and we're just going to be following Mr. Campbell and Michelle and Melissa, and they're just going to talk very briefly about the weather, about traveling, very casual things.
That's right. So let's take a listen to this dialogue, and we'll be back in a moment to discuss what's going on.
Hi, ladies. Thanks for picking me up. It's awful weather out there.
Absolutely. It's been raining for hours.
How are you, Melissa? Are you okay?
I'm great, thanks, Mr. Campbell.
Do you have any business trips planned soon, Mr. Campbell?
Of course. I'm always traveling. I'll leave for London next Monday, and then I'll fly to Boston from there. It's going to be a busy month. How about you, Michelle? Do you have any vacation plans?
Yes. Mike and I will travel to Beijing to see Mike's parents for the Spring Festival, and hopefully next year we will visit London. I hear it's a wonderful city.
I couldn't agree more. London is really fantastic. It's my favorite city. I'm sure you'll have a great time.
All right, we're back. So now let's take a look at language takeaway.
Language takeaway.
All right, we don't have that much today in language takeaway, but we do have a couple of really important words and phrases. The first one comes from the very first line. Mr. Campbell says, "Hi, ladies. Thanks for picking me up."
That's right. Now, this phrasal verb, to pick someone up, means to get them, right? To
gather them, to collect them. You can do this with a car, like I will pick you up at the airport. But you can also do it in person by just walking to a place and meeting somebody and then taking them somewhere else. That's the important part. You take them somewhere else.
So maybe if you go pick your kids up from school, you just walk there, you get them, and you walk back home.
That's right. And so the key here is that you remember that the verb goes first, I will pick, and then you have the person. I will pick you up. I will pick them up. He will pick us up.
That's right. So the subject goes between pick and up.
That's right.
All right. So we're going to pick someone up. And then Mr. Campbell comments on the weather. He says, it's awful weather out there.
It's awful. All right. So awful, you listen to the tone, you automatically think that this is probably a bad thing. And you're right. It is a bad thing. But what's another way to say awful?
It's terrible. It's bad. It's horrible.
So awful is a way to say something's really bad. And we use it very often with the weather. This weather is awful. But we can also use it about other things like food, for example.
So if you have something to eat and it doesn't taste good, you can say, this is awful. What is this?
Or, what's that awful smell?
Smell.
Marco took his shoes off.
Right, an awful smell. All right, and, well, Mr. Campbell went on to tell them that he's taking another trip soon, but a specific kind of trip.
All right, so you know that there are many different kinds of trips, but the one that he's taking is a business trip. So normally we could just say, I'm going on a trip next year. But here we specify, we say it's a business trip. So what are we doing on this trip, Marco?
That's right. So we're basically working. We're going because our company needs us to go to a meeting or to do some work abroad.
All right. So you know on a business trip that you'll be doing work things. You'll be having meetings. You will not be going to Disney World. You will not be meeting with friends and going to movies, probably.
Right. Exactly. So it's very different from a vacation. A vacation, you go with the objective of going to these fun places.
So can I say I'm going on a business vacation?
No, you're either going on vacation or you're taking a business trip.
All right, business trip.
So now let's take a break and let's review our dialogue.
Hi, ladies. Thanks for picking me up. It's awful weather out there.
Absolutely. It's been raining for hours.
How are you, Melissa? Are you okay?
I'm great, thanks, Mr. Campbell.
Do you have any business trips planned soon, Mr. Campbell?
Of course, I'm always traveling. I'll leave for London next Monday, and then I'll fly to Boston from there. It's going to be a busy month. How about you, Michelle? Do you have any vacation plans?
Yes, Mike and I will travel to Beijing to see Mike's parents for the Spring Festival, and hopefully next year we will visit London. I hear it's a wonderful city.
I couldn't agree more. London is really fantastic. It's my favorite city. I'm sure you'll have a great time.
All right, so now let's take a look at 4 key phrases on Fluency Builder.
Fluency builder.
All right, now we have a great phrase for everybody here in Fluency Builder. Melissa is talking to Mr. Campbell, and he asks her how she is. Are you okay? And she says, I'm great, thanks. Now, Marco, why would we use this phrase instead of I'm fine, thank you?
Well, it's basically the same thing. It's just another way of answering this common question. How are you? You can say I'm fine, thank you. I'm well. But this is just another way of saying I'm okay.
All right, but I think it's important, too, to remember that this is also very casual, like the rest of the conversation, and pretty enthusiastic. She's great. So it's important to remember that I'm fine, thanks is standard. It's very normal, but I'm great is a nice way to change it and do something different.
That's right. Okay. And now we wanted to ask if we have any plans, but we wanted to know if we have any vacation plans. And the interesting thing about this question was that Mr. Campbell said, any vacation plans? So that's the whole sentence.
Well, first he says, how about you, Michelle? Any vacation plans? So what we think here is that maybe it's wrong. Do you have any vacation plans is something that we'd want to hear, right?
Right.
But here we don't actually need to say, do you have any vacation plans? Because it's pretty clear who we're talking to. We're talking to Michelle, right?
Right. And we're talking about traveling and we're talking about plans. So it's overstated that we don't really need to say, do you have any vacation plans? We're already talking about the subject.
Now, this is a great way to transition. One person is talking about himself or herself, and then you want to talk about the other person. So you say, what about you? Any vacation plans or any dinner plans or any ideas?
Exactly. So it's a great way to, like you say, transition from one idea or from one person to another. Now to the next phrase, a very common one, specifically when you are not really sure about something, but somebody told you. Specifically in this case, Michelle says, I hear it's a wonderful city when talking about London. So what does she mean by, I hear it's a wonderful city?
Well, basically, Michelle is saying she's never been to London, but she's read or she's heard from friends or from a TV show that London's a wonderful city. So she can't say it is a wonderful city because she's never been there. But she can say, listen, you know, I have heard this from other people or from magazines. So it's not even clear where she heard it, but that's not really important.
So basically the idea is that we don't know personally, but we have friends that told us, or we have read in a magazine or a TV show, we've seen it, that it's great. So you can use it with many things, like a restaurant.
That's right. I hear the food is delicious. Or I could say, hey, Marco, I'm going to Hong Kong Disneyland next year.
Right, and I can say, oh, I hear that it's a very fun place.
So, Marco, you've never been there, right?
No, I've never been there.
Okay.
All right, and to finish off, Mr. Campbell agrees completely about London being such a wonderful city, and he says, I couldn't agree more.
I couldn't agree more. So he agrees. We understand that. But I couldn't agree more is like saying, I really, really agree.
Right, like you are completely right.
Yeah, so this is a way to exaggerate. You know, you want to say, I agree. It's a little boring. So you say, I couldn't agree more. I'm agreeing the most I can.
That's right. And then we can also use the opposite, which would be if you disagree with someone.
I couldn't disagree more. So you just change that one word. I couldn't disagree more.
So maybe I don't like London. Maybe it's too rainy or too dark for me. So I say, I couldn't disagree more. I think London is terrible.
Ooh.
Right.
Maybe not the right thing to say in a small talk situation, but we can talk about that in a minute.
Exactly. All right. So let's review everything one last time.
Hi, ladies. Thanks for picking me up. It's awful weather out there.
Absolutely. It's been raining for hours.
How are you, Melissa? Are you okay?
I'm great, thanks, Mr. Campbell.
Do you have any business trips planned soon, Mr. Campbell?
Of course, I'm always traveling. I'll leave for London next Monday, and then I'll fly to Boston from there. It's going to be a busy month. How about you, Michelle? Do you have any vacation plans?
Yes, Mike and I will travel to Beijing to see Mike's parents for the Spring Festival, and hopefully next year we will visit London. I hear it's a wonderful city.
I couldn't agree more. London is really fantastic. It's my favorite city. I'm sure you'll have a great time.
All right, so this is our last podcast all about small talk. And, well, I hope it's been useful. We've gotten some great feedback about the different topics and small conversations you can have with a stranger, a coworker, a friend, to kind of, not have that awkward silence.
That's right. We've gone over a lot of different situations. We've had situations with strangers, situations with work friends. But I think what's really important is that in all of these situations, we're very polite. We say nice things. There are these transitions like I hear or I couldn't agree more. These are wonderful ways of really being nice to the person you're talking to.
That's right. And we're going to come out with a new series soon. So we would really like your feedback, any topics or any specific subject you want us to talk. You can let us know at englishpod.com, and also your questions and comments can be left there.
That's right. So please get in touch with us, englishpod.com. We'll see you guys there.
Bye.